And I'm just going to say, yeah, hello, welcome to Constructive Rest Club. So, if you haven't joined us before, what we do is lie around on the floor, and hopefully you'll have been through some of the sequences if you've just joined the club that tells you all about that. You want to be on some padding, often more than just a yoga mat. Yoga mats are great, but I would say you want, especially this time of year, a bit of a folded blanket there as well for the extra comfort. You're going to have your knees bent and your feet on the floor and your head on a support. Normally, we use something like paperback books, softback books. That works well. So you can, if you haven't already, get yourself into that position, get yourself all organized and comfortable. You don't want to have your feet too close to you, and they don't want to be too close to each other. There wants to be a feeling of stability through the feet and through the legs. And sometimes it can be a bit challenging to keep the knees up in their parallel semi-supine, which is the position's name, position. And so if it gets too tiring for your knees, you can let them rest on each other. Or a good idea is to sling a lightweight blanket over your knees if you do struggle with keeping the legs free, but not falling about the place, to kind of give them a bit more stability. A lot of this work is experimentation. It's working out what's best for you. And your head on the book or block or whatever you've got under it is so that your head is supported and your spine is in alignment. And that can be a bit tricky to work out. But essentially, what you don't want is your so many books that your head is pushed down towards your chin to chest. And you don't want too few supporting books so that your head is falling backwards and crushing and compressing at the back of the base of the skull. But I see now that everyone looks very comfortable and very ready. So I'm just going to remind you one last thing, which is that you're in charge of you. And to be honest, you're the expert in you. I'm definitely the expert in this work, but you're the expert in you. And if your body says something like, I need to move or fidget or wiggle, or if it just plain doesn't like this session, then you are totally in charge of you getting up and doing whatever you need. So we always like to have a bit of a theme on our constructive rest sessions. It kind of helps us to keep track of the work that we're sharing with you, the sort of the steady learning, because this work is progressive. You start off thinking it's one thing, and a year later you think, oh no, I understand it all so differently. But I felt that it would be quite nice to just to check in with ourselves. December can be very busy, and so by the time we get to January, we can kind of lose ourselves a little bit often. And that's a shame because this time of year is ideal for getting to know yourself, for going deep, for finding the depths within you. So we're kind of going back to basics, really. We'll see how that feels. The first thing you're going to do is just be aware of your environment, the room that you're in, the space that you're in, because this work is very interactive with the space that we're in. Our body relies on the information around us and how that's being processed to feel comfortable and safe. So you might even like to take a bit of a kind of landing breath, sort of going, oh yes, here I am, safe and secure, lying on the floor. And the whole of your back, or most of your back, is indeed lying on the floor. And that contact is like a comfort and a support if you let it. So perhaps just bring your awareness to the upper back, the tops of your shoulders, shoulder blades, the back of your upper arms, and notice the contact of them and the floor behind you. And then bring your awareness down through your back, noticing whatever bits of it are in contact with the ground and aren't, and you don't need to change it, you just need to notice. And then thinking of the bottom area of your back as going all the way down through your pelvis, the back of your pelvis, the back of your hips, and all the way to your sit bones. If you don't know where they are, those are the bones at the bottom of your bottom. So you're mapping yourself, you're mapping this rectangular back, just to know that it's landed, it's on the floor, and it's really safe. And because the floor has got your back right now, you can let something soften through the front of the body. You don't need to hold on in your belly. You can let all of that whole abdominal area from your diaphragm, the top of the costal arch, all the way down through to the front of your pelvis. Letting the abdomen soften into length and width. It's just a thought. Don't need to do anything here. You're just thinking it and then moving on. Going, right, we've given that idea, that intention to the body. We'll move on. And I'd like you to move on back up your body to your head that's resting on these books or blocks. And you don't have to do anything with your head, but I want you to register that your head is resting on something and that indirectly the ground is supporting your head. And there it is, supported and safe and secure. It's not going anywhere. You could even offer yourself a little micro movement of turning the head a millimeter to one side and then the other in a sort of, oh yeah, that's the back of my head. There it is on its support. And then after that, you can say to your neck, the muscles around the jaw, down through the sides of the neck, that they don't have to work quite as hard as perhaps they are. Your neck muscles can let go a bit. You can allow them to take a break. And allowing the neck to be free, which is how we describe it, is really quite a journey in itself. And so if you think to yourself now, well, I've been doing this a little while, I know that when I ask my neck to be free, it releases and lets go. There's going to be a deeper level to that. So even if you've been doing this work for quite a while, still pay attention. Still let the neck have some freedom. Take a break from the effort through your jaw, even down through the front of the neck. Notice if there's any effort there and ask that effort to stop. Say hello to your back again, that rectangular sheet of connective tissue and muscle that's resting on the ground. Your intention is that you want the back to lengthen and widen. It's a sort of funny phrase, really, but what we're saying is that you're taking your space. And in that same sort of body mapping kind of way, you might just like to remind yourself what that means, taking my space. Well, you know where the top of your right arm is, and you know where the top of the left arm is. And everything in between that, that's you. And you're allowed to be in that space. And everything from the very tops of your shoulders all the way down through to the base of your pelvis, your sit bones, that whole area, that can lengthen, not because you're doing anything, but in fact, just being there, embodying it, that's enough. So your intention is that you're taking your space through your back, its length and its width. In this work, sometimes you feel stuff, sometimes you feel the ripple of the intention, the movement of that moving through the body. It can be really subtle, and sometimes you don't. Sometimes there's no sensory feedback at all. And the trick here is to greet both of those situations in the same way. Just say, yeah, I'll keep thinking my thoughts, sending my intentions, and allowing my body to just do its thing. Check in with yourself now. How are you feeling? Does this all sit well with you? Is there some resistance within you? When I first started doing this, there was a lot of resistance in me. My body didn't want to lie in stillness. It didn't want to be connected up. It certainly didn't want me to be with it. There was all sorts of reasons, complex reasons that we all have for not wanting to be in our body and connected to it. So checking in with yourself and giving yourself a gentle permission to do whatever you need. Maybe you'd like to move your feet. Maybe they're not in the right position and your legs are feeling a bit like hard work, or maybe your arms want to be changing in their position. Mostly we let them lie on top of us, on sort of somewhere on the abdomen, hands on the abdomen, elbows on the ground. But we're all different and, but try different positions with your hands and your arms from time to time, because that also is a useful way of working out, oh, what am I doing with myself? And of course, at the moment, you're doing nothing. You're lying on the floor listening to me. But throughout your body, throughout your nervous system, the musculature, there's a little activity that's running. It's like a background program that's running along, and sometimes it's running a bit fast. So I'd like you to take your awareness through to your arms and say to those arms that they're quietening down, that the muscles through the upper arms are softly switching off for the day, that the muscles through the forearms and the hands are calming right down, because there's nothing to do here. Your arms are resting, and you're consciously intending that they rest. Wherever your hands are, whether they're touching on you or the floor, or the backs of them resting on the floor, bring your awareness to your hands. Notice the contact, whether it's through the fingertips or the back of them or wherever. And from that contact point, think your way through your hands and through your wrists, back up towards your elbows. Let your elbows rest. And then from your elbows, I'd like you to think up through your upper arm bones, all the way through to the heads of the upper arm bones that are resting in their sockets. When you get to the tops of your arms, let go a bit in your armpits. Send a message. Let that be your intention. Softening around the armpits, the front of them, the back of them. And then imagine those arms connecting into you, across the front of your chest, across the upper back, across the very tops of the shoulders, even across through the bra line, whatever works for you, connecting your arms back into you, towards your spine. And then we'll go back to your neck and we'll say, can we let go in the neck a little more? Can there be a softness under the chin, down through the front of the neck and in towards the collarbones? Can we softly let this idea of the arms connecting into the spine, connecting into the neck, be a cue, a prompt for a bit more ease through the neck, less effort in the neck. So the whole column of your neck can release back behind you towards the floor, as if the vertebrae are really quite heavy, especially the vertebra at the very top of your neck in your skull, just letting it drop back towards the floor behind you. And as your neck lengthens, because that's what it's doing, you can think your thought, your intention out through the crown of your head. Neck free, lengthening out through the crown of the head. Organizing your head and neck can have a very positive effect on the rest of your body. Those ripples of change moving through you might be noticeable, or as I said earlier, might not. So then, even if they aren't noticeable, we still go down to the other end of the body and we say, what's happened in my pelvis? Can I let my lower back release a little, softening the belly, widening the back? Can something let go a bit at the tops of the thighs, right up by the pelvis, so the heads of those thigh bones sink back into your hip sockets, connecting your legs into your body so that your legs don't have to work so hard just lying there. And then find your feet, your left foot, your right foot, as if they were enormous, imagining that your feet were much bigger than they are, softly spreading out on the floor, feeling the ground beneath you. That sense of security again. Oh, yes, the ground is beneath me. My legs don't have to hang on. You can let go in your calves. They don't need to work as hard as that. If you're a bit of a fidget like me, feel free to just leave your feet where they are and have a micro movement of letting the knees rock from side to side, as if you were just easing through the pelvis. Noticing as you do how that feels. Was your back of pelvis okay, or did it feel a bit stiff, a bit heavy? Sometimes that can happen at the beginning of this work. And letting your legs come back into stillness when you're ready. Staying with your feet for a moment. There they are, planted in the ground. So that there's a lovely kind of support that travels through your shin bones, up through your easy knees, along your thighs and back and into your torso. That sense of connection to the floor really allows your body to do less when it comes to tension, because the support is so useful. It's so welcome. Can you let go again through your abdomen? Inviting it to soften and lengthen and widen. Maybe your lower ribs can move a little bit more. Sides of your waist, a bit freer as you breathe. We don't need to do any fancy special breathing, but we do want enough freedom around the rib cage so that each breath you take is free and easy, not hard work, not heavy or huffy. And if you let go in those armpits again, the upper ribs get a chance for a bit of movement, a bit of ease, a bit of freedom. And that rib cage that's gently moving, like a wave really, with the breath in and out, gives a signal to the shoulder girdle and the neck that it doesn't need to hang on, that it's safe, it's supported. Softness can come through the neck and ease in the jaw as you let your heavy head rest on your books. You've been lying down for 20 minutes. Sometimes that 20 minutes goes in a blink of an eye, and sometimes it lasts too long. And you think, oh, I wish I'd got up already. How is it for you? Is there still that resistance that there was at the beginning, or is everything settling in a bit more? 20 minutes might be enough for you. You might be thinking, yeah, actually, the body needs to move. Something needs to change. And this is where I invite you to be mindful in whatever movements that you're going to do next. Because eventually we will roll on the side and come on up to sitting. And it can be a very automatic thing, getting up off the floor. It can be a kind of, oh yeah, I do this all the time, don't need to think about it. But I'm inviting you now to make a gentle movement with some part of your body and be conscious of it, whether that's your head rolling gently from side to side, a soft shrug of your shoulders, or a roll of your arms. It might be that you go back to the rocking of the pelvis and legs side to side. And the movement is slow enough that you can observe your response to that movement. And eventually you might think, I'll roll on my side and take a pause there. And some people get a little dizzy with this work as they release the neck and the back. And so pausing on the side is absolutely essential. But even if you don't get dizzy, pausing on your side gives you a chance to allow your neck to be free again, to not grip through the armpits. And eventually you can push yourself up and come on up to sitting. Sometimes, lovely to see you all coming up here. Sometimes, I'm just going to say this, I will come on up, start to coming up to sitting. So I'll roll on my side and then I'll pause and free my neck and roll back again into semi-supine and come up the other way. So if you're still on the floor, you might like to try that or on the recording.